Finally got a haircut. Now I just got to get a shave. Can I be honest and say that I found this episode relatively boring in its entirety? I mean, it had funny moments, and I like some of the references that it made, especially with Discord, but I felt this was the boringest I've ever seen Discord in the entirety of the show, and that's saying a lot. The episode pretty much is Twilight wants to do organization for 3 days. What ends up happening is after those 3 days, she finds out that Discord apparently had this amazing bonding time with her friends, and she's trying so desperately hard to get in on the joke. You know how like that situation where, a couple of your friends hang out with each other, you weren't invited, and then when you start talking with them and they start talking about that event over and over again, you're like, what exactly happened? And every time they try to tell you, you're just kind of like, I don't get it. That's this episode pretty much in a nutshell. Twilight's trying to get in on the joke that they apparently had with each other during the entirety of that weekend, but unfortunately cannot because she was not there. In the entirety of the episode, it always says, like, you should have been there, and because she wasn't, she can't get in on the joke. This does lead to a funny scenario of Twilight trying to reenact this, like the scenes, trying to figure out the joke, and even going as so far as to think that Discord has them all under a spell, saying, oh, the only way that they would find Discord funny is if they were all under a spell. You're stupid. You know that, Twilight? I think, for the most part, this episode had a good message, and I liked the direction it was going, but that ending sours the episode for me in many cases, because, for the most part, it was shown that Twilight is being jealous, but she kept denying it. Then Discord brought it out that, she shouldn't be worried about being jealous along with her friends. But then Discord brings out the stupid idea that, oh, I did this intentionally to teach you a lesson. You, okay? I'm sorry, but you, episode, for doing that. If they were to stick to their guns and make this an actual lesson that Twilight learned and to maybe take more into consideration her friends and other stuff like that, then, I would be okay with this episode and its message. But the way that they made it, that Discord did all of this intentionally, had this great weekend with her friends and told them not to invite her intentionally just so she could intentionally learn a lesson, I find that to be a humongous anticlimax in some cases. I don't know the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say. And then the episode ends with like a massive rewind where the main six are now against Discord for doing that. Now you see why I say screw you, episode, for doing that. Beyond that, I don't think the episode is bad. I mean, like I said, the message is there, but unfortunately the episode, it's, the ending part of the episode kind of sours it and also, lessens the strength of the message. It does have some funny references and otherwise, but for the most part, this episode is rather, like I said, boring. I think this is a boring episode, mainly because I wasn't laughing at the jokes. I did like the message, but of course it was soured at the end. And I just wasn't, this was definitely not an episode I think that was playing to its strengths. Like I said, if the ending wasn't done the way that it was, I think it would have been a stronger episode. But because the ending was done in such a way, it suffers for it. And I hate to say it, but that's why I don't think this is a great episode or anything like that. This is okay to meh, in my honest opinion. And that's my speed impressions on What About Discord?